Happy New Year. Hello. Hello. Happy New Year and welcome back to Heartlines. On today's episode, we have a new face, Efe, Emefina. We have our regular Sheyi Elesomi. I was supposed to have Jacinta on the show today. Is Jacinta online? Okay. Okay, Jacinta is not online yet. Okay, I'm sure everybody had an amazing holiday, and I kind of feel excited to be back. Shay, how do you feel? How was your holiday? We had a long break, we stopped, we ended the
we
show in
actually did.
November and we
We
were
actually
off all through December.
I'm grateful for that.
You're great?
But yeah, we're back, recharged,
Yeah,
and I think we're good to go.
yeah, yeah. Ife, this is your first time with us here.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
I
And I'm
hope it will be
excited to be here.
exciting for you, yes.
Yes, so allow me correct that. So it's Eloho
Eloho,
Ifemena.
Efemena. I have a very good friend who is Eloho, so do you understand?
I'll
So
get it. You're trying to, you're just confusing.
I'm just
And
confusing
that's
it,
fine,
yes.
that's fine.
So how was your holiday?
Yeah, it was fine. I rested a lot. I didn't really do much in December, just with family. And yeah, no work in December.
No dirty.
No dirty December?
It was clean.
Okay.
Clean December.
So, but I'm sure everybody has this new vibes of January. I need to set new goals. I need to do this. I need to do this. Shay, what are we doing? What are we doing 2025?
So for me personally, I don't think probably the last 2 years I've not been setting goals. What I've been doing is I've been setting. There are things I started off last year, and I just raised the bar with it.
Okay.
So I don't have like new goals. I have to do this new me, new 2025
New
now.
Year resolution.
No, I'm not doing all of that. All I'm doing is whatever I started before. This is the year you push it further. This is year you take it a little step further, raise the bar in whatever you're doing. Basically that's it. No pressures, nothing. But definitely, okay, maybe in a way there's a little bit of goal setting involved, which is the things you started, you have to get it to this level.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that,
So-
that's part of setting goals, because if you
So
started
I
something
guess, yeah.
and then you have to continue, you're going to raise the bar. That's setting goals for yourself,
Yeah, I guess so. But no new New Year resolution. That's more like it. But
Makes
I think there are goals, but no
Okay, that makes sense.
resolutions.
Efe, you?
Okay, so what Shay just talked about is the same thing for me, because there's
Okay.
really no new goal. It's just about um, following through. What I started last year, and like you said, raising the bar. And I call this year execution here. There's some things that I have planned, like maybe 1 year, 2 years ago. So I think this year.
So you guys
is the
are
year.
kind of aligning.
I think so. So
Okay.
it's just about doing those things this year
And being consistent.
Exactly. No new goals
Yeah.
actually. No new thing.
Okay. So we decided to start off the show.
What up for you?
Right.
Oh. I was everywhere. So I had to, after this I had to do something outside. But I had a bit of ups and downs, popsy. But eventually, early January, I decided to have a bit of fun. Oh, my dirty December, I cancelled everything. My kids were not around, so it was just me. My husband had to go to Canada to see the kids, so it was just me, and then I had to. Okay, but I went to Benin to stay with my parents. I haven't done Christmas in Benin in 20 years. Yes.
You went to Benin.
I went to Benin, so I spent the New Year with my parents. Part of Christmas, I was here till 25th, and I traveled on the 26th. So I was in Benin till January 4th.
Amazing.
Yes, I was at home. I was starting to have added weight. I was sucking breasts. Okay, so we decided to start the show with parenting. I don't know, there's this thing for me. I'm seeing so many things. I think part of the things that have happened in the last few weeks. So I decided that we should start off the show You understand? Discussing parenting, not even as adult, like proper parenting from toddlers, you know. So we're going to be discussing parenting and trying to navigate parenting like all through this week. But before we dive into the show, please let's quickly go on the break and we'll be right back. Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Determined you are. A billion fools coming together sincerely to take an action will take a foolish action. It doesn't matter how many they are or how they feel, how much they hate. Determination is not a strategy. Neither is anger, right? People have to learn to subject their feelings to reasoning and allow those reasoning to be guided by truth before they move to action. There's a lot of movement going on in Nigeria, but 99.9% of the time, it's a movement of emotion to action. The reasoning and truth is missing within the gap.
And no strategy.
Now, when you have a critical mass that are terribly ignorant, fearful, and opaque, because you see, you have to understand the character of the Nigerian. He is extremely hopeful. Extremely hopeful. Now, anything you are willing to tolerate will never change. Never.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back. Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
Okay, please remember to share your story with us via our WhatsApp number 801-9038-4663 or join us in our conversations by calling in on 070-2500-7749. Please. Is Jacinta online now? Okay. Okay. Okay, so while we're waiting for Jacinta to join us, Eloho, like I said before we went on the break, we're trying to navigate, like preparing for parenting at the first stage of parenting, you know. How do you prepare for parenting? Are there things that people need to do, parents need to do? Do they need to like go to school for this thing? I've heard people say, oh, they had to register in academies. I heard people say, oh, they had to read books, you know. So can you please share your experience? You know, you have it. Your daughter is 2.
Yes,
Okay,
I have
so
a 2-year-old.
2-year-old, yeah.
Who is she's of course a toddler, and it's not easy. It's not
I
easy.
totally agree with you.
Ah no, it's a full-time job,
Okay.
honestly. And backstage we are talking about this thing, and I was like, like what the Bible says, I'll bring it back again. That
Yeah.
who wants to build a house or have a project will not just, first count its cost. What do I need? How many bricks do I need? How many cement do I need? And this is a human being. This is
You're bringing
human,
in,
not
yeah.
a pet. So we are not raising children. We are raising adults. Like, these are not children. They are
Okay.
going to be adults one day. So you have to be able to understand that there is work to do. So for me, I got this understanding when I was pregnant. Before I got pregnant, this awareness was already coming. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to. We always say I don't want to raise my children the way my parents raised me.
True.
But we see that the more we say, the more we are repeating patterns.
Yeah.
We are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
You see some parents who say, my parents flogged me a lot and I don't want to, flog my children. And they now begin to enable them, and it becomes, terrible, situation. And some people like, no, they support me too much. I want to hold my child with a strong hand and all of that. Then before you become, something else, your children. So what do? First of all, you have to gain knowledge about this. I'm a parent. You're a custodian of that child. It's not your property. People say that my child is my own. No, your child is not your own. You are giving that child to take care of as a caretaker, right? God gave you that child. So you see that child as a project. You see that child, that this child is going to become somebody in life. This child is not. You don't want this child to bring shame to you. So you have to pay that price in studying. Maybe it's getting coaches, mentors. Like I said, I'm in a parenting academy. I knew this thing. I knew the
Okay, so
mistakes.
you had to attend. You had to register for a parenting.
Even till now, I'm still.
Okay.
It's like a school for me. I don't think I even want to graduate till maybe my daughter is 18 years old.
Okay, so you are very intentional about it.
I am.
Okay,
Actually.
so you would advise that people are intentional about it.
Raising their children.
Okay, that's true. That's
yes,
good.
It's very
Okay.
important. Yeah. So as I was saying, I said you have to plan towards it.
Okay.
What do you need?
Okay.
Do you need to start reading books? Do
Okay.
you need to start, engaging mentors, people that can help you when you, raise? Because people say a child should be raised in a community. You cannot raise a child alone. You need people, and not the wrong people. You need to, surround yourself with people that can really help you, because it's going to be tough sometimes. The way you raise a toddler is not the way you raise a child, a preteen or a teenager. Different. So when you get to that stage, what do you need? You need to prepare ahead. So it's not because you gave birth to a child means you can raise a child, you can train a child. No. So prepare for it.
Okay, so I was going to ask that in the academy, what exactly do they teach you people in the academy?
Wow.
Yes. So yeah, that's one.
Okay.
I want to know what they teach in the academy, at least to educate people.
Okay.
And then, as parents or as people who are supposed to be getting married, do you guys have this conversation on how you want your children, what you want for your children? Because it kind of guides you,
Yes.
even in pregnancy.
True.
So because if you guys have that conversation, because I think it's very essential, if you guys have that conversation to say, okay, we're going to have 2 kids, and then regardless of the sex of the child, this is what we want for the children. This is where we want the children to go. Those conversations are very important. And you're planning as parents. You're saying, oh, even where you want to live as parents is important. What you want to expose your children to. You understand? These things are very important. You understand? The kind of people you begin to have in your home as visitors is very important. Those are conversations that I think people like you should have in premarital counseling or classes. So do people actually go for these things?
Did you see the face I gave to you? You need to see my face. Most people don't do this. They don't. You just go for counseling and you don't really talk about, you just talk about maybe your wedding. Maybe Shay should say something about it, because I don't know.
Okay.
Shay, just say something about this. I'll talk about, what we do in parenting academy.
Sorry. Jacinta is here.
She's here. Yay.
Hello, Jacinta.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can
Very
hear you
well.
very well.
Loud
We
and
have
clear.
missed. Jacinta, we have missed you.
I missed you all too. Nice
How
to
are
see
you?
Hello, Shay. Nice to see you again.
Happy New Year,
Happy
Jacinta.
New Year, guys.
It still looks like you're in the festive mood. You still have your hair. You still have your... What's going on?
Amazing.
I'm fine.
You look
Franca,
good.
good to see you. I'm happy to be here.
Just say, we started this together. We're always together on this one.
Always.
Always. So, Jacinta,
Yes,
today we're
always.
having a conversation regarding preparing for parenting,
Okay.
and we're asking questions that what are the things parents need to consider before even getting pregnant and having children. And do people have to actually attend? Because Eloho mentioned that she had to attend an academy while she
Okay.
was pregnant because she knew she needed to prepare for this, you know. And I have everybody on the show today has kids. So I actually, because there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about the guy that killed a lady? Jacinta, have you heard about that guy that killed his...
No.
Oh, there's a story
No.
about a guy who killed his girlfriend in court, but we've heard it's not the girlfriend,
Yeah.
you know?
Why?
And yes.
What for?
She said why?
What for?
Okay.
So the story I read was that he said she cheated on him,
Oh, wow.
and he was trying to get back at her. So it was they even asked him, "Are you remorseful about what you did?" And he said no. Yes, he actually said no
Wow.
on national TV. And then I hear the father is asking that
They
they
release
should
him.
release the son.
Yeah.
Bad parenting, terrible parenting.
Wow.
So are you saying the girl he killed doesn't have parents? So these are part of the reasons why I think we should actually have this conversation, because it starts from somewhere.
Yeah.
It really starts from somewhere, and I think it's something that would affect everybody eventually.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it would affect everybody eventually. So, Jacinta, do you have something to say regarding this?
Yes, I would say that first of all, being a first-time parent is not what a lot of people think it is.
Yeah.
It is a bittersweet situation.
Yeah.
It's something you can never prepare for. There's no manual. It's just something you have to learn as you keep going. I'm happy that Eloho said she's going to an academy, which is a great idea, because a lot of people don't think there's any need for that. But I think there is a need for that, because even in as much as the academy might not have, all the answers to, what she might need, she still would find some sort of, she'll still learn something at least, because at the end of the day, experience is the best teacher. So I would say that parenting for the first time comes with all of its different baggage, frustration, it's just something totally different, and a lot of people cannot cope with it. Most people they just think about get married, have kids, but they don't really understand that being a parent, it comes with a whole lot of things that you don't expect. It could lead to the to dissolving the marriage at some point, because they might not know how to tackle all the things necessary. There are many things that I think that people should be aware of, from financial responsibilities to partnerships, communication, conflict. I think it tests relationship. I think what it does to marriages is it tests relationships. I think that's one of the very first tests when it comes to being married, and starting a family, especially that very first year. When the baby arrives, not sleeping, sleep deprivation, the woman most of the time, having to do all the work. Most of the time the husband doesn't help out, so she doesn't sleep at night. She wakes up in the morning, still does the house chores, she goes shopping, and then such a person who is tired and frustrated can then get angry or bitter, and then before you know it, there's a lot of conflict in the house. There's fighting, there's shouting, because they're not navigating these things properly. So what I would say is, being a parent, a first-time parent, is a lot. I have been there, and I would say that it's not an easy road. And I would also say that we just have to find a way. It's not perfect. The kids don't know if they don't have a matching socks. Babies don't know if they don't have a matching socks. It's we parents that are overly, everywhere, trying to be perfect, trying to make things work, they have to wear a certain kind of clothes, or this diaper, or that this or that. I think we put so much pressure on ourselves, parents, when we just become new parents. So I'll just say that we need to take things slow. To be honest, you need to take things slow. You need to prioritize yourself. You need to prioritize your relationship as well. You need to prioritize your finances and so much more. So yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I'd like to add
Okay.
for now.
Okay. Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense. So, like I was saying, there are a few things, there are a lot that needs to be put in place before the child comes. But again, how do you decide on the method or style of parenting? Because there are different kinds of
Oh,
parenting
definitely.
styles, yes.
Definitely.
So how do you agree on? Is it when you see the child's behavior, or you're saying, oh, this is how we want to raise our kids, this is the style we want to use for our kids, this is what we think will work for our kids? How do you navigate that, Shay?
Okay. So I'll use my personal example.
Okay.
Um, Growing up, I think till I got to a certain age, I was always the type that transfer aggression. When I'm going through stuff, everybody around me gets a piece of. Do you understand? They get a piece of it. Like when I'm going through stuff, like I give it to everybody, and I just want to be by myself. And one thing I had to, I didn't say I went to school for, but I personally just worked on myself and was like, I said to myself when I was going to get married, like, whatever is happening outside stays outside. Like when I get into the house, I'm not bringing any baggage in. I'm not doing all that. And transferring it
To your
to
wife.
my wife and my kids by extension. So what? No. So what I did personally, because I also saw a lot of that growing up, where your parents are stressed. They've had a very long day, and you just, as a child, you just make one. Yeah, not even daddy, 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 daddy is still cute. But as a child, you make a mistake that children would make. And the flogging you get from it, you know that is not that mistake.
Exactly.
It's a result of frustration coming from
Yeah.
outside,
Yes.
and you are just getting the brunt of it. So I said to myself, like, whatever I'm going through outside, whatever it is, stays at my door. I come back home and it's all love.
Amazing.
And yeah, and I also had a discussion with my wife where, we were like, the first thing we want the kids to see is love. Yes, that's the first thing we want them to see. And we would take it off from there. And what I discovered also was, so when my first came, um, in our head, I thought my wife was going to be the strict one, right? Because she's Madam Proper. And, I was like, okay, I'll probably be the one that spoils the kids and all that and all that and all that. And my first came, and my wife completely went the opposite. She was just like, oh. And I was like, hey, what's this is who's going to be the one in charge here? So I had to take up the responsibility of ensuring, discipline. And so something happened while my first was growing up. He's 6 now, by the way.
Okay.
And my wife used to tell me that I noticed something, which is when he does something wrong, right, and you want to correct him, once you shout on him,
He withdraws.
he withdraws. Not only that does he withdraw, but he listens easily to correction. So for that kind of child, we said to ourselves, why do you need to beat him? Do you understand? Like, why does he need to be? I personally don't even like raising hands on a child. Anything that makes me do that, that means it's not normal. I don't like it. So I was like, you know what? The parenting style for this guy
Has to be
cannot.
different.
Yes, it cannot be come, because he listens and he acts on whatever you say to him. So there's no need to go to that extra mile of saying, I will do this, I'll do this, because this guy listens. No, that is different from another person. Another child would probably need an extra mile. Would probably need for you to armstrong him, yes, to say, no, you are not. I've seen kids that, they would test you and push you to the limit.
So is it possible that parents spoil kids to the point where those children begin to manipulate them?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. Children are very manipulative.
Very manipulative.
They know your
Even
weak
toddlers.
points.
They know your
From small,
they
they know
know-
your mumu body.
So you see this thing that Shay said, when she was just speaking, I was just listening. I just didn't want to interrupt him. You see, the fact that you have said you had a conversation to say the first thing we want these children to see is love. How many couples have those kind of conversations?
Yeah.
Do they even know what love is?
Can I add something to what Shay just said?
Yes, please.
So it's also very important that parents have, what we call the values. What kind of values?
Right values.
Yes. What are
are
the
your
core
core
values
values?
of your family?
Yeah.
Like what Shay said. Love is a core value for you, right? The other core values, there's accountability, there is discipline, there's honesty. So when you have, like, this is the set of values that we have in this family. So this is what you're going to use to create your family, plan, the way you want to raise your children. Of course, there are different styles of parenting. We have people that are pessimistic, they're just there. I beg, I don't want to spoil them. I beg, me, no, like, if we have the authoritative, which is the firm but
Very
loving.
firm but loving,
Yes,
yeah.
but we have the authoritarian that is always, different kind of parents. So which one do you think, like now, I usually ask myself, how do I want to see my child? Like, if I look at her in 15, 20 years from now, how do I want to see her?
You have a picture
I
in
have
your
a
head
picture,
already.
Of course, I'm not the owner of her destiny, but there is at least, I have an idea of, I would love her to be like this. I would love her to have love. I want her to be selfless. I want her to, prioritize herself. I want her to love God, because it's a core value for me. Faith, love is core for me. So those are the things that I will start instilling. Of course, she will do some things. I'll be like,
Okay.
because of my values, I'm going to handle it this way. So it's very important that parents also have their core values. Write it down. I don't know, maybe I'm just applying what they taught us. You have to have your constitution, like, this is how we want to raise our children in this house. And the children will also follow, because you are passing it from generation to next generation. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I agree with you. So we'll have to go take our pen and paper to write. She went on academy. Let's quickly go on a break. When we come back, we'll go back to our lecturer.
Heartlines would be right back.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Please remember to subscribe to on our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV and share the live link to friends and family. But please note that you can actually watch this live on you can watch live now on RTV. That's channel 145, Go TV 405, and Star Times 308. So please, just share with people, get people to know that this is live. You can call in to ask questions, you can call in to share your stories. It makes this whole conversation more interesting, because when we have people call in, we have different perspective of what people
Yes.
think. We have different opinion about what we have said. It's not supposed to be just us having this conversation. So please feel free to call in and share your story or your own opinion about whatever it is we're having a conversation about. Okay, so before we went on the break, Eloho, you said something that really struck me, and you said something. What are your core values? You know, and that kind of resonated with me, because if you want your kids to have certain values, you have to lead by example. The children see these things, little lies. You lie, you're not honest, you're not accountable, you don't want to be accountable. You are that person, you are that mother who doesn't think you need to who doesn't respect her husband. You're that husband who just misbehaves, goes out and comes back whenever. The children see these things and they think it's the norm because they saw their parents doing it. So they think that's how it should be. So you see people come from, in fact, there are a lot of adults from traumatized home. A lot of their trauma is from what they have been through as children. And they begin to pass this thing on to the next generation, to their kids and all that, not even knowing that they have serious issues. So when you see people come for counseling and you're having conversations, in fact, let me tell you what I do now. I just listen, because when I listen to you speak or talk, I'm saying, I don't get angry. I just said, I feel sorry for that individual, because you don't even know you have a problem. And it's not something you actually intentionally put on yourself. It's something that built up, you understand, over time, and you have no control. You don't even know that what you're doing is wrong. And this is where it starts from. Seeing your parents do certain things and you think is okay. Seeing your father beat your mom, you think is right. Seeing your mother come back home certain time, or you see your mom. I know women who saw their mom not doing anything, and when they get married and the husband say, "Oh, you need to work," and they're saying, "Work? Oh, my mom didn't work." Before we forget Jacinta. Hello, Jess. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so Jacinta, what would you say?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so Jacinta,
here.
So how did you navigate parenting? Because your son is 8,
Yes,
right?
I am.
Your son is 8. How old is your son?
Yes, he is.
Yes, 8. So how did you manage parenting?
Okay, I'm a single mom.
Okay.
And I've been doing it mostly by myself.
Okay.
And I would say that, first of all, come to think of it, I'm actually trying to understand why I chose the path that I chose.
Okay.
I think when I was growing up, we were brought up to be timid. I think it was more like, okay, maybe I'm a girl, and they just wanted us to not. They didn't want me to be flashy, or they didn't just want me to be out there. They wanted me to be inside the house. They didn't want me to chest out. They just wanted me to be. So they suppressed me. My voice, and so much more. But what I know is they wanted me to go to school. They wanted the best for me when it came to education. But I realized that I couldn't express myself well, and so most of the time I bottled a lot of things inside of me, and I thought that if I was taught to be expressive, if I was taught to be bold, because I used to be so shy, so shy. I'll never partake in any activity that would bring me in front of the class or anything like that. I always just wanted to be at the back, and I was comfortable being like that. So when I had my son, I never thought about anything parenting or I didn't go to any school or I didn't even, it just happened anyway. It wasn't planned, anything like that. So I'll say this. When I had my baby, the love that I had for him, I just wanted him to be expressive. I wanted him to be bold. I wanted him to speak to anybody and not be afraid of anything. I think that was that was the first notion that came to mind.
Okay.
So I wanted him to grow to be a strong man who would face any challenge that comes his way, who would speak up, who would voice out, no matter who the person was.
Okay.
So I started to channel that into him. When I'm talking to him, I'll tell him, look into my eyes. Don't look away from me. When I'm talking to you, look into my eyes. I'll say things like, if you disagree with it, you have your time to state your own opinion. I started those things from when he was a baby. I'll say to him, let me talk. When Mama is done talking, then you speak. Okay. When he tries to interrupt me, I say, no. First of all, I know that I'm grooming you to express yourself, but you must still allow people to speak, and then you can speak yours. You can say your disagreements and anything. I mean, and that's how I, the whole parenting, nurturing, and all of that. It was around that, making him a powerful person, someone who was, and he's like that. So aside from the fact that, of course, I love faith, I love going to church, I love, that I wanted him to have was being expressive, no matter what it is, no matter where he was, he could talk, he could express himself to whoever it might be, and always learn to be in front, stand in front. When nobody wants that position, take it. That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I would say that that's what I knew, and I would say for a fact that it came from the fact that I lacked it at a young age. I had to, over time, learn how to be, more confident in myself. So most of the time I always say, oh, I'm so shy, I'm so shy, I'm so shy. But that was a lie. I grew up thinking that I'm so shy. Well, no, they made me that way. Okay. And I realized that I could as well then say to myself, okay, I don't have to be that way. I don't know why they did that, but I don't want that anymore. And so I started doing a lot of things that obviously frightens me. I'm scared to do them, but I'm doing it regardless. So I started growing, and then, so that's what I would say about, parenting so far with my son when it comes to instilling values and so much more. That's very important for me. And so far he's like that, and he's still growing. Okay. Of course a lot of other things will come by, but yeah, we're digging it out. Yeah.
Okay. So you see what she said. You see what I was trying to say, that when kids pass through something, they try and pass it on. So what she did was make sure her son...
She changed the cycle.
She changed the cycle. But guess what? There are people who would say...
That's how I was raised.
Who would say, oh, that's how I was raised and it's the right thing. And for that reason, they'll make their children go through the same thing, and, which is very bad. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm wondering if people who get married understand that the fact that you're getting married doesn't mean you have to be a parent. Do you realize that?
Yes.
That you get married doesn't mean you need to be a parent. You can be married because people get married for different reasons.
You can be good in marriage to the person you are married to,
but be a bad
parent.
Be a
terrible parent.
Terrible parent, yes, because that's not what... So when I hear ladies, in fact, I was somewhere, and the lady said, I don't think I'm mentally ready to have a child. I respected her opinion. Why? Because she understands herself to the point that she understands that she's not ready to be a mom, because she knows that she cannot give everything that child will need at that time.
I think also, right, people underestimate the work that you have to do.
Is it that they underestimate?
With children.
No, they don't underestimate it.
They don't
even know.
They don't know it.
So there's a difference between not knowing and
True.
undermining.
Yes, they don't know.
They don't know, because it's one thing to know and say, oh, I can do it.
I don't even think anybody
Nobody knows
the
the
extent
extent
until
and
you
the
get
amount
into
of
it.
work that needs to be done with parenting. In fact,
Honestly, when I had my child,
Yeah?
sorry, when I had my child and we were going through it, I was like, God, are you sure I'm ready to have another one? Are you sure? Are you sure I'm not just going to put all my energy on this one? You know, and that was fear actually. But I told myself, hello, you're capable. Don't worry. You have a community now. Don't worry, you can do it.
okay, but you see, this thing we're talking about, there are
It's true.
women that do this thing and they do it well.
Everybody's capacity is
Capacity, do you understand? And they're not going near academy. So I feel that there are some people that know how to take on things.
Yeah.
And they make it look easy. I was somewhere years ago, and I met a lady who had 8 kids. 8. Do you know what I did? In front of her, I counted 1, 2, 3, and I counted to 8. And I said, Jesus. I have just 2. And trust me,
Am I easy?
am I easy?
Oh, Lord.
That was said in Benin. It's not easy. Am I easy? Do you understand? It's a lot of work, because even aside from the mental strain and things you have to go through, even dealing with 2 children at the same time. This child is totally different from this other child.
Yeah.
You know?
You have
So
to pay the
I
price
don't-
actually. Because either way you will pay it. If you
And
don't
then
pay
there's
it now,
something that's very important that we need to address. So when couples get married, because they don't have that parenting conversation, you find out that the whole work is left for the woman. She's left to train the child.
She can't. The truth is,
And the truth is, she cannot
She
do
cannot.
it alone.
she cannot do half
She
of
can't.
it
She can't.
alone.
And that's why you find out that at some point, you find that the children start to disrespect their mom.
She can't.
See finish going to
See, finish go enter but guess what? 80% of the Nigerian men think that all they have to do in parenting
Bring
is
money.
provide money.
It's so far from it. I'll tell you one thing I'm going through right now, which is paying attention, extra attention to academics. And let me tell you, the thing is, yes, you get a pleasant teacher. I believe nobody, and I feel like if you want to develop a strong bond with your children, be involved. Because nobody, no matter how good the person is, nobody can do the work of your parents. There are some things that your parents do for you that stays with you for life. No matter how old you get, when you think about those things, anywhere you are, you will reset. Because your parents were there.
They were there.
Do you see this conversation we're having right now? I have a younger friend. His name is CJ. And I was speaking to CJ, and CJ said that part of what we're speaking generally about life, and he said that he wants to be, there's a certain kind of person he wants to be. And that he knows that part of why he's like this is the foundation he came from. That he saw the unity between his father and mother. That was what built him. And then guess what he told me? That stayed with him. He's in his 30s. He said that every parent is busy, but that he noticed that the father used to do something. If the father comes home and him and his siblings are around, and it was time for him, no matter how tired and everything, and it was time for him to eat, he would tell the wife, let CJ or the brother bring the food. Guess what? When CJ said when they now bring that food, when he takes the food to the dad will now say something funny that will make him laugh and feel comfortable. Are you seeing?
then they
This
now
is
sit
what
down
he
together.
remembers.
Skill.
Something
That's
skill,
skill.
emotional intelligence.
God.
Listen, that the father will say something and then he will laugh, and the father said, "Don't throw away the plate." He remembered all those things. Love. And then when he would drop the plate and go do whatever, go play and all that, that when the father finished eating, the father will say, whoever brought the food, they will call that person to come and carry the plate. And when you're taking the plate, he will say, I left meat for you to eat. That child is excited that the father gave him a piece of what he ate. I'm telling you, this guy is 30 something. And when he was telling me this story, this was just yesterday, I could sense the emotions, the excitement. It just made him feel connected to the father.
Amazing.
It wasn't about money. It wasn't money. He didn't say, my father gave me 20 million. No.
The best connection, the best things in life, like what we say, they are feelings, they are emotions. They are not, when it comes to it,
there's a song that Janet Jackson did.
Okay.
Best things in life are free.
They are emotions. There's a limit to what money can do. The things at the end of the day, when it comes to it, like at the end of the day, at the end of life, the things you remember are not materials.
Yeah.
Because anybody can give you money.
That's
They
true.
are not materials. They are not materials. They are the things that you remember that your dad, that your mom did at some point, that that somebody
and
did
guess
for you
what?
at some point.
And guess what, to be honest, I think that those are the things that mold children.
Yeah.
In fact, my friend,
Sorry,
Yeah?
I'll give you an example. I was talking to one of my secondary school mates just recently, and we're talking about one of the brightest guys in school back then. And do you know what made him so bright? His dad would sit down and they would, like, I don't know who his dad was, but his dad paid attention to him so well in academics. Like, they will sit down, they will go through the syllabus together. Like, my guy, we are
make I teach you.
not even teach.
Make
Like,
we
guys,
understand. Yeah, guys.
like, sit down as you are going through it. I'm going through it. You are going through it. That guy became a whiz kid. Like, right now, he's a very top guy in his industry. I don't want to mention his name. Like, very top, because he had a dad.
His father was his mentor.
Connection, yeah.
that sat with him and said, you know what, we are doing this together. So, in parenting, before I forget, just to buttress what Jacinta was saying, is the fact that we have to take the good. Because I don't believe there's any parent that was outrightly bad. Take the good in some of the things they passed to you. Also be open to learning, like Elo. And learning is just not by the things you read. For example, what I do now is I compare notes with friends who have had older kids, and I see their kids doing some things, and I say, how did you guys get
To those
them
points.
to be doing this? What are the things you did? You know, we compare notes every time.
Which is very important.
Like I told you, I have some friends that are like core friends, and there's every time we compare notes and we share fears. Like, this is what shaped us to where we are right now. This is what we want to see in our kids, and this is how we think
Things should be done.
we should be able to, achieve that. And it's just patience, continuous learning, and being committed.
Yes.
Being very committed to, making sure that these guys that I giving birth to are a better version of me. They're a better version of, people that came before them. They are able to handle life situations better than what our parents did or what our parents gave to us. Is it flogging? What, things that made you timid,
So I get that flog in the correct sense, but
is it
I'll say
ideal?
sometimes, but shout, this is the correct, but they don't do the real work.
And let me tell you what I noticed too. Sorry. When I gave birth to my first, and he does something wrong, I was always shouting. I will not flog, but I will shout. So he started cowering. He started withdrawing, like, That is it. And if you know me, that's my biggest fear. That I will have children
That won't be able
that I will
to.
not be able to connect with. Like,
You
will
can
not be
have
able to sit down
conversations.
and say,
How
you
far
know,
now?
how
What's
far
going
now?
on
What's
now?
the day?
You know, what's in day?
Daddy.
But
Yeah,
you see,
clear me,
that's-
like when I'm doing things wrong.
Except, but you see, that's the thing. So, Shay, you said something now that was very, there's this thing that when guys hang out, all they do is drink, carry chicks, and all that. But you see, Shay just said something. When they are together, they're comparing notes. Do you understand?
Oh, yes.
You guys are comparing notes. You guys are focused. You guys discuss how you want things to be in your home. I'm not talking. I know they talk other things, but so it's also important to have the right people in
Oh,
your
definitely,
circle.
definitely,
Yes.
definitely.
It's all because if the kind of people I hang out with are people that all we do is just drink, discuss one or two, we don't even
You can't
discuss.
share
Yes, we
you
can't
be
share
vulnerable
things.
with them.
You can't be vulnerable with them. You can't say, "Oh, I want to compare." You guys are in a competition. Things like that. Then it doesn't work. So, at the end of the day, what are we saying? We're saying that getting into marriage is not just a reason why you should have kids. You should be prepared to do the work that is involved in having children, which is called parenting. You should be intentional about parenting. Because if you're not ready, don't start.
Exactly.
You've not even figured the person you're married to.
You know,
you
You now want
You
to
know,
bring,
to bring somebody,
bring
which is
another.
why we have a lot of nonsense going on. We have a lot of nonsense going on because of bad parenting. And Shay, you said something. You said that when people, you take the good things. You said something about taking the good things and then unlearning and learning. Shay, do you know that some people who don't know?
Oh, yes, a lot of people.
I can tell you that 60%, what am I saying 60? 75% of the people you see do not think what they know is wrong.
Our parents raised us well. We turned out better.
Exactly.
That's what they say.
They don't think that they don't think I know people who are up there who think that psychology or going for therapy is rubbish.
I say, Franca, do you know that I used to have anxiety? Like, I worry a lot. And I got that from my mom. You know, when you're always worried about things, I didn't even know that I had developed that. And it became something else. It was even affecting me in my marriage. I did not know. Until, going through counseling and everything. I'm
yeah.
like, wow, I began to trace back. And I confronted my mom, like, you're the one that gave me this thing, oh. She's like, honestly, because of course we're close.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I say, no one that usually worry because it's you. You used to
But
worry.
you were not intentional to break
break that cycle.
Yes.
Honestly, because I didn't want to repeat patterns. How will I be anxious?
Yeah.
But it came from where I was coming from.
Hello, Jacinta, are you still here? We're about to wrap up. We have just less than 3 minutes more. Yeah, that when we have this kind of conversations, you don't know when.
It was fast.
Jess?
Yeah.
I was even checking.
Jess, is she here?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, Jacinta, we're about to wrap up. What you got to say?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you want to say something? We have less than 3 minutes to go.
Oh, so okay, I'll just say that being a parent, especially being a first-time parent, is something that you don't take lightly. There's no manual. You're going to learn as you go. It's an experience, and for every time you learn something, like she said, you learn, and you keep going. So I'll just like to just give a few advice, especially when you're a first-time parent, when you're just trying to, cope.
Navigate parenting.
Ask for help. You can ask for, you can ask your family for help, even if just for an hour. And then when you can do something, admit you can't do it. Plan properly. Don't try to be too perfect, or the baby has to have that. No. I'd also say partnership if you have a spouse, someone you're with, you need to communicate better. You guys need to share responsibilities. Maybe when someone is feeding the baby at night, someone wakes up to do the morning chores. this would help with sleep, because let's be honest with you, it's mostly sleep deprivation that causes a lot of conflicts in that time.
Okay.
One partner is not sleeping and the other one, is sleeping, and you hear things like you don't help. So I'd advise, instead of saying you don't help, you could say, oh, I need help, and I think it would be better if
You
you do
experience.
this.
Jacinta. Jacinta.
Huh?
I will answer you later. We have less than 2 minutes to go.
Okay,
I know
sorry,
the, I
yeah.
know
So
the
then,
things you
sorry,
want to
let me
say.
not
We'll
take
come,
all your time. So
we'll
yeah,
come back
just
there.
look for ways in which you can, what's it called, cope, and all the best to all the new parents out there.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Ho.
Okay, so what I would say is be open to learning. Don't be rigid, don't be flexible. Things might change, just don't have that fixed mindset that this I
It has
can
to be
start
like
le- No,
this.
you have to be open
There are
to
no set
learning.
rules.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, Shay, you want to say something?
I think I said all I wanted to say. Basically, parenting is not easy, and it's not just a bed of roses. You have to be extremely intentional about
Very
how you want to
intentional.
raise them,
I
about
agree.
where you want them to go, how far you want them to go in life,
I agree.
about how they would handle life situations.
I agree.
Because if you don't teach them the environment, the community will teach them,
Their friends will teach them.
and you can't trust the community.
You committed to help you teach them. So okay, so as we wrap up the show, please remember that you could actually we're here to listen to you, and like I said earlier on, you could send us your messages, you could call or send WhatsApp messages, or you could even send us an email on counsel@federconsult.com. And yes, after that, you could reach out to any of our teams. We'll put up numbers, but not immediately, that you could call. Not after, maybe we could send messages after the show, but you could send emails and our team members will reach out to you. So please, 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 please. Our WhatsApp number is 081 8038 4663. See you tomorrow. Thank you.